Today is a day for possible redemption. We're gonna see how Chris Custom Kicks fares against Salon Care 40 Volume Cream with these gold foam posits that are severely yellowed. Let's get down to it. If you guys have been watching this series, you know that I have already tried icing with Chris Custom Kicks, but the pair that I was working with was so cooked that I really couldn't ice out the sole. Now it's time to put Chris Custom Kicks Sole Sauce to a redemption test on a pair that has a bit more of a shot at achieving its original icy condition. These gold foam posits are very yellow and I want to breathe a little bit of life back into them. You guys can probably tell that the uppers are looking pretty well worn. There's definitely some generalized grime and dirt, and these shells have been scuffed up a little bit too so that some of the paint is missing. Moving to the soles, you guys can tell that these soles are absolutely cooked. There's a ton of heel drag and the rest of the sole is just looking quite yellow. Now that you guys have seen these things up close, it's time to get them iced. Luckily, the soles have already been given a deep clean, so now it's time to apply our sauce.
The first major comparison we can make between our sauces is price point. Salon Care 40 Volume can be found on Amazon.com in a 4-ounce container for $13.83, a 16-ounce container for $14.99, and a 32-ounce container for $26.30. CCK Sole Sauce can be found on chriscustomkicks.com in an 8-ounce container for $14.99, a 16-ounce container for $29.99, and a 32-ounce container for $49.99. After getting the sauces applied, I wrapped up the shoes in some saran wrap and placed them into the ice box for a 48-hour icing session. After 48 hours, I removed my kicks from the ice box to give them a nice clean of the old sauces. I started off with a dry clean to remove all of the excess sauce and utilized some Q-tips to get into the deeper nooks and crannies. After I had gotten off the majority of the sauce, I gave them a quick wet clean utilizing a Dremel Versa and some standard sneaker cleaner. This helped to remove any excess sauce from the shoes that was still hanging around after the first 48-hour session.
These gold foam posits have officially seen their first 48-hour session of icing. Let's take a closer look so we can see what the results are like. It may be difficult to see from this angle, but it's very clear to me that the right shoe is actually looking better. It's kind of hard to describe, but there's a little bit more of a clear look to this rubber, and it just doesn't have the same kind of yellow tint as the left shoe does. This is especially clear at the heel area, where it's just actually easier to see through that clear rubber.
And it's a little bit tough to tell, but you can definitely see that that left heel is just a bit more yellow than that right heel.
Both of these shoes do seem to be clearing up, but in my eyes, the Chris Custom Kicks Sole Sauce is definitely working a bit more quickly. Now that you guys have seen these things close up, it's time to get another coat of sole sauce and put them back in the icebox.
Another major comparison that I always make between my sole sauces is the ease of application. CCK Sole Sauce is very thick and viscous, which makes it a little bit easier to spread on the sole, and it doesn't cause quite as much concern that it might drip because it actually sticks very well and remains pretty thick when you apply it. It also has a really nice minty smell to it, which is a lot better than most of the other sole sauces that I've ever used. Chris Custom Kicks Sole Sauce is definitely a ton easier to apply than Salon Care 40, which is a very runny and drippy type of liquid that you definitely have to be more concerned about getting onto the uppers of your kicks. After a second 48-hour session, it was time to remove the kicks from the ice box and get them cleaned down so we could take some final comparison shots and see the difference from when we started.
Now that these sneakers have been in the icebox for another 48-hour session, it's time to take a final comparison. Unfortunately, these outsoles did not de-yellow quite as much as I was hoping for them to. Overall, as far as just having a more icy blue kind of look to them, I would have to say that the right shoe has an ever so slight advantage. There are some parts of the outsole that just seem to be a bit more translucent and are just easier to see through because they have have that kind of cleared up hue to them. From a close-up view from both the lateral and the medial perspective, you can definitely get a little bit more of an idea of the difference between the two.
So when I filmed that last clip, I was definitely on one. When I got these foams underneath a little bit of a better light, I was able to see that there was a significant difference from where these kicks originally started off. Taking a look at the actual soles, you can see that that right shoe still seems to be a bit more translucent, and I would definitely have to give the edge to Chris Custom Kicks Sole Sauce.
But at the end of the day, I hope that this project helped you guys out a little bit. If it did, make sure to hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. It takes 10 seconds, and doing so goes a long way in helping to support. If you guys are looking for any other projects that I got going on, make sure to check out the website at www.sailboatsupplies.xyz or social media at Sailboat Supplies. As per usual, thank you to everybody that stuck around until the cold, bitter end of this video. You already know, I'm Sailboat, and I'm out of here.